Hey guys, what's up? Shadowlands back from their video. Today I'm going to be going over how to improve assassins. We all know that assassins are completely underpowered in comparison to specs and even just basic characters. Regular guns outperform the crossbows that the assassins have. Even the LAW is far superior to the explosive crossbow in terms of damage unless you're like literally right on top of the explosive crossbow. The bolt that explodes. So I wanted to talk about this because recently they re-put in the synapse scrambler. I guess they were doing bug fixes with it or something, but they recently put it back in, and that made me want to do this video of other things they should add to assassins in order to make them better. These are just ideas that they could do. These are a lot of items they could possibly put in, even perks that could be just for assassins. We already have a few of them, like the one that can restore your HP by using stamina, but there are some other ones that would be really interesting. Now obviously these are all ideas, and to be totally honest, if every one of these was included for assassins, it would probably make them overpowered, but it would be ideal to have a couple of these added, at least to balance out assassins. So without any further ado, some items that assassins could have. Throwing knives. This is like right from the beginning of assassin history, wherever. Throwing knives is like what they're known for. Those little kunai things, like ninjas use and stuff. Assassins need to have throwing knives. Next up is invisible poison gas. This is just an interesting idea that only assassins or people on your team could see, but you could throw invisible poison gas that would just do a little bit of damage. It wouldn't do a lot, it wouldn't be as strong as the current gas that we have, but it'd be really interesting to have. Next up are just some really interesting ideas, paralyzation darts. Like when you make them slow down or something, you could like shoot someone with it. It wouldn't do damage, but it would slow them down a lot or even paralyze them completely for about 2 or 3 seconds. That'd be interesting. It might be a bit overpowered in terms of like if you're trying to use an SMG to hit someone and then spray them down, but you'd at least have to switch weapons, so it could make you wait that little extra time, and it might let you get a couple of shots on. It might be a bit overpowered, but it's an idea. Next is something very similar, poison darts. It works the same way as gas or fire. You get hit with a poison dart, and you take a little bit of damage as if you were like outside in cabin fever. You take constant damage for about 20 seconds or something. Next up is a longer range melee knife only for assassins. Like I'm talking even longer range than the Dom Pedro sword. Super long melee weapon with a lot of extra range and maybe even like some side range so you don't have to have the hash directly on them in order to make the weapon hit. But it'd be really interesting for assassins to have a longer range melee that does a lot of damage or maybe even a one-shot kill just to make it more, you know, balanced. Something interesting that only assassins can use, but it would take up a primary weapon slot. It wouldn't take up your knife slot. Next up are special caltrops. There's a bunch of different ones you could do with these. You could do like fire caltrops or caltrops that do more damage or poison caltrops or fire caltrops. I don't know. There's a bunch of different things you could do here. Or even caltrops that are like mines, like after you like step on the mine, it shoots out caltrops instead of exploding and forces you to step on them or something like that. Just different ideas. That might be a bit overpowered, especially in Clan Wars, but it's an idea that would be something to consider and could certainly use some revising. Now the last few are just different types of mines. Fire, poison, and paralyzation mines. Sort of like what we have for the M32s with specs. I'm kind of picturing it as like the equivalent that assassins would have, because you know that they have the fire M32 and you can shoot them super long range. But if you had like these hidden mines that assassins could use, that I think that fits assassins more than it fits specs. I don't picture an assassin running around with an M32. I picture an assassin being sneaky and shady in the dark, and mines are the type of thing I could picture them using. And maybe you can make it look special, like and not make it look like a current mine that we have now, like those little like circular cylindrical things that you toss on the ground and they explode. You can make them look kind of cool. Now I also do have some ideas for some perks we could give to assassins. You could give them a perk that increases the AP and HP they have by a tiny amount, so they could have like 120 HP or 120 AP. Yes, that would make them tank a bit more, but if it takes up all 3 of their perk slots, it might be worth it. Next is also a status immunity perk. So assassins are good counters for assassins. If you have a status immunity, you can't get hit by fire, you can't be hurt by fire or poison or paralyzation, but it'd be really interesting to have. Once again, I think that's one that should take up 2 or 3 perk slots, but it would be something nice to have so that assassins can counter assassins. And then also make this one separate, be able to see through flash and smoke. It'd be the same as having 100% protection for flash, but also have it work for the smoke grenades as well, where you can actually completely see through that and not have to worry about it, like heat vision or something really neat like that. I think that should also take up 1 or 2 perk slots, maybe 2, although I could see it being fair to only take up 1. and also since you'd have to pay for it separately anyway, that'd be an interesting way to do it. Next is also a faster running speed perk, so you can boost your speed by like 3 or 4%, whatever, so you can run just a little bit faster. That one I think I would only give like 1 perk slot, but you'd have to manually activate it. It's not one that you just have going all the time. So like your stamina runs down faster, but you get to run faster. So you're trading some of your stamina for more speed or something. And next up is another one that's the exact opposite of the current one that we have. Trade HP for stamina, where you can, if you're running low on stamina, you need to get away from somebody, you can trade a little bit of your HP for stamina. Now this one's not very original, it's just an idea to counter the one that we currently have. It'd be interesting if you could trade back and forth, like if you had both of them equipped, you could get HP from stamina and stamina from HP. It'd be really interesting, and I think it would give a bigger dimension for assassins to use. The last few is a synapse immunity perk. Now that the synapse scrambler is back in the game, I think this is something we really need. I think assassins should have a synapse scrambler immunity perk. It would once again make it so assassins could counter assassins. And the final one is actually something that I got an idea from other games that you see in actually fairly commonly. It's called See Enemy Mines. It's so that you could just, see enemy mines. Since I introduced like these whole things of more caltrops, more mines that they could possibly have, anything that assassins would use that most other players wouldn't, or even regular mines that regular players use. You could see their mines, you could see them like what they have a little green arrow above the ones that are on your team. You could put a red arrow above the ones that are on other teams that are going to hurt you. Be something interesting for assassins to have. But those are just some ideas I have that you could use to rebalance assassins. I don't think the stats on the assassins right now really need to change. They're kind of fine as they are. But I hope you guys found these interesting. If you have any other ideas of weapons or perks or anything that could be new for assassins, definitely post in the comment section below. I'm interested to see what you guys have to say. Please don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Shadowlance out.